this week on Stay Out of My Fridge.
I cannot tell you if they are mixing their own dough in-house, but I can tell you that they are taking a dough, they are, pushing it out, they're throwing around some flour, they're doing the little
And I like the backing, I always have, and now with these cameras and everything, they make it so convenient to do so. And now I'm spoiled. My truck has the 360 camera, so now I don't have to get out and check again. I just hit that button right before I put it in, or before I turn it off, and it shows how I am in the parking spot. And I'm like, oh, snaps. So just hit that button whenever I'm done. I'm like, all right, cool. Bada bing, bada boom.
KFC in 2022 introduced finger sporks.
Oh, get the out of here. Like Grandpa and his brother? Probably lots.
2, 3, 69 times. Inside joke. You want to hear the inside joke and all the stuff we talked about before the show? Go to our Patreon. It's not there, and you don't have to go there. We're not putting anything in there. But either way, the voice you're hearing, it's me. It's Matt Beardlaws. Joining me, as always, Yuban Whakinov and Brandon J McDermott. What's up, dudes?
Good morning.
What a...
We're having a very passionate conversation. I said, hold up. Let's talk about it while we press record. So, obviously, over the weekend, life has been busy. You've been battling some homecoming at his place. Brandon just has a million things to do because he's going to be up on the roof and, doing all of that. So it's going to be a busy day as well. But we got talking about something we're very passionate about, pizza. And Brandon was like, there's this new thing. Of course, I can't get it. Anybody on the East Coast and the West Coast can't. But you middle Americans have something very special, I've been told.
Yeah, so Yuban knows all about this. Yuban, of course, if you don't mind me saying what state you live in. Or not. I'm not sure if I can name the state
He's not listening.
Okay.
I'm listening. I was just coughing at the same time, so I wasn't trying to be respectful.
So I live in Nebraska. Yuban, can I share the state you live in?
Yes, absolutely.
He lives in Missouri, but so we're bordering a state called Iowa, which is it's an awful place.
Trash.
But the one good thing that comes from Iowa is a place called Casey's.
Caitlin Clark.
A place called Casey's, a gas station, and we've all got gas stations and stuff like this. But Casey's has a special thing where they make pizza, and they're known for their breakfast pizza specifically, but they make other kinds of pizzas. They have a good cheeseburger pizza, etc., etc. Good barbecue chicken one too. But they just launched a new jalapeno popper pizza, and it seems a little on the surface, a little kind of like this is just going to be something we try for fun, and it's going to actually be terrible. It's not going to actually work, but it's really good. Comes with crust, because that's what all pizza has to have. And then you layer on sauce. Jalapeno popper pizza has Philadelphia whipped cream cheese, real cheese, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, smoky bacon, pickled jalapenos, and a drizzle of Mike's Hot Honey. If you haven't had Mike's Hot Honey, it's delicious on its own.
Shout out Mike and his hot honey.
It's a sweet heat. It's
Shout
delicious.
out to the drizzle.
Yes, the drizzle and the drop. Anytime you get a pizza from Casey's, unless you are ordering it brand new, how often do you go to Casey's and say, I would like a whole pizza from your establishment?
Very often, actually. Okay. I'm using the app. I'm using the BOGO deal.
See, that's a great deal, and whenever I get a chance to do that, I do it. But usually it's I guess I'll take a soda, and what do they have sitting here for 3 hours under the heat lamp? And it's usually a piece of pizza that's old. But even their old pizza tastes all right. But if you get it fresh, man, makes you want to strike a child.
Matt, it's, when we talk about going to game days, and usually it's only McDonald's that you have available. Casey's is a good substitute. If you're in town, you're like, oh my God, they have a Casey's. Yes, because they have mozzarella sticks. They have the cheese poppers. They have more than just pizza at some locations. But when you call ahead and you're like, hey, this game's going to end in 20 minutes. Give me 2 pies and their cheese breadsticks.
Ooh,
I would compare them against anybody's. Their pizza, mid-tier. I'll be honest, but it's delicious. It keeps you coming back. Kind of like Little Caesars. If you like Little Caesars, Casey's is above Little Caesars, in my opinion. But
totally above Little Caesars. And I'll say this, because if you get Little Caesars and you come over to somebody's house and they have a Little Caesars box of pizza, and they're like, yeah, we bought pizza a few hours ago, and you open it up, hard as a rock, gross, you have to throw it in a microwave, you have to do some kind of scientific experiment to make it edible. You go to Casey's Pizza, if that has been sitting in under a heat lamp for 2 hours, it's still like a fucking 5 or a 6 on a 10 scale to me. Like, it's not terrible pizza. By even the crust is good.
And the pepperoni has time to even get that little bit of a curl and that crisp, which just makes it just even better. And Casey's is so unorthodox, Matt, that he was talking about their breakfast pizzas. They have a biscuit and gravy pizza.
Oh,
So
now we're
instead of
talking.
tomato sauce, you use the gravy from the. Oh yeah.
The white gravy, and then you have the sausage in there and everything. And I tried it. Not really my thing, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
So you probably wasn't your thing for the like mouthfeel of it.
Yeah, it was just honestly just because when I see pizza, I automatically think of tomato sauce. So every time I kept biting into it and getting that gravy, I'm like, what is this?
It's a gravy cheese, like not a soft, but a gravy and melted cheese mixture that like mixes in there, and it can be, if you're not ready for biscuits and gravy on a pizza, you're going to be like, oh, what the hell is this? But it's delicious. If you like
Do they
biscuits
put chicken
and gravy,
on it too?
no chicken.
Nope.
Usually like little chunks of like breakfast sausage or bacon.
Okay, I'm thinking, chicken and biscuits. Maybe something, make a little mix with some shredded chicken. Might be pretty decent. I'd be probably a little bit weird, maybe with the cheese, but now I'm thinking like putting cheese in a chicken and biscuit meal. Maybe like some Velveeta cheese or something. That wouldn't be so bad, would it?
Yeah, it's a cheese like that, where it's a very probably a processed cheese they're melting down with their sauce in the gravy, but it's so good. It's so
gout for sure. Like
got a bad case of the gout.
Take your meds beforehand. But that hot honey, I'm excited. I have not tried that one yet. So you know what? We have a tournament next weekend.
Ooh.
Daddy's getting heartburn. I'm trying it.
So I reached out to Mike's Hot Honey 6 months ago or something, and they sent me their regular like infused hot honey, and then they sent me like an unreleased like super chili infused extra hot honey, and I was like, oh man. And it was like, it wasn't super, it was still delicious, and you'd probably put it on everything, but it did have that extra kick, but it wasn't like a 10 on 10 scale when it comes to spice. It was still edible. It was delicious.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's new. There it is. They turned your favorite appetizer into a pizza. Philadelphia. Oh, yeah. Philly. Whipped cream cheese and a pile of blended. Oh, that looks fantastic.
Yes. And one of the rare places that their pizzas on their images, it looks identical. Like you're not, like their pizzas look the same every single time, regardless which one you go to.
Do you guys know, because they market it as a large original crust. Do you guys know anything about their pizza crust? I have to imagine if there's that many locations, they're not spending the time. It's already made, I have to assume, which is okay. I've had some really good pre-made, frozen crusts that are made by somebody, but it's the original. Like, do they make their own, ship them to the stores already made? Is that how they market it?
I cannot tell you if they are mixing their own dough in-house, but I can tell you that they are taking a dough. They are, pushing it out. They're throwing around some flour. They're doing the little like to make like the little aerate it, give it holes.
Yep. Okay.
So it's not a pre-packaged, pre-made dough that they're receiving. They're just like open it up, putting sauce on it. They actually have to bake the crust.
No shit. All right, that just got points for me, because for games for us, if we want something like that would be compared. There's a place around that's it's New York and Vermont only, so it's not overly appealing, but it's called Stewart's Shops, and they have a cool thing behind their business where anybody that buys in and as an employee and all this stuff, they've turned people into pretty much millionaires. There's so many locations. It's kind of like the North Country Dollar General. There is Stewart's in like every small town, and they do awesome. Like that's the only place I get buy my coffee. And like you said, you can go and get some hot sticks. The kids are obsessed with the mac and cheese. Pretty good slice of pizza. I'm pretty sure theirs is frozen. You know what I mean? Put in, but it's not bad. Like you said, quick hits. And anytime you try to go to a Stewart's, it is packed. While we're talking pizza, sporks, forks, and how you eat your mac and cheese, I wanted to remind you of all the great friends of our show. That's right. If it wasn't for these amazing friends of the show, I don't know where we'd be. So maybe if you want, go check them out. We got fucking nuts peanut butter. FAWKIN. Honestly, this is how I start my morning. I put it on a piece of toast, an English muffin, maybe a bagel. It's the peanut butter that helps me with the protein. I've been feeling so good. Gives me that a little bit of extra kick every morning. So make sure you guys check them out. Fucking nuts peanut butter. It's fun to say. Your kids will love to say it, and you'll love to eat it. Also, check out Vermont Flannel. It's flannel season, baby, especially up here in the Northeast. Make sure you check them out. It's the official flannel of the Beard Laws Studios. You guys can use code BeardLaws24 to save yourself some money on some Vermont flannels. It's the only flannel that I wear, that I will wear. It's the comfiest flannel I've ever worn, and I've tried some flannels in my day. There's a reason that is the official flannel of the Beard Laws Studio. Check out my go-to beard products. Copper John's Beard, baby. Use code BEARDLAWS. You guys can go to thebestbeardproducts.com. It'll get you there as well. And fellas, maybe you're, sweating your way through fall. You're in some warm areas. They also have some ball wash. That is the best ball wash with a pH balance. That's going to make the boys not stink. Go to theballwash.com. And also, I've been chilling on my back porch with my portable hammock chair. Guys, check out Yellow Leaf Hammock, the Vista. It's the best price that you can get right now. Can't guarantee that this price is going to hold, but at the time of the recording, it is a heck of a deal. Check out Yellow Leaf Hammocks before all the leaves are red and gone, and it's just winter. If you're into pickleball, go check out Prime Ignite. This is the packages you get. There's a link in the bio. $64.99 at the time of the recording. Prime Ignite. You get 2 paddles, 4 balls, a carrying case, and 2 regrips. Prime Ignite, baby. It's even the USA Pickleball approved. Check them out. Again, those are the friends of the show. Back to the episode at any location, but that's all I got comparable.
That's the same thing. And for some reason with Casey's too, there are no parking stripes at all to indicate like where to park. But for some reason, everyone knows how to park at a Casey's.
You would think so. Literally went last week. So everybody, as he says, this Casey's is, I'm trying hard to give you a diagram. So the Casey's, if we're looking at a top view, is a rectangle box, right? And in front of this rectangle box, instead of parking in straight lines in front of it, everybody parks at an angle on this side. And on the other side, everybody parks at the other angle. So it's like a V, and everybody parks in a V from the front door outward like this. Well, some idiot last week came and parked right in the middle. So I parked in a V right next to his shit. Like
That's right.
He was probably like, "What's this guy doing? Parking the correct way, you dipshit." So
it's the only gas station that you have to park in a specific way, even though there's no signs indicating to park this way. You're supposed to know, and if you don't know, like this guy probably didn't, you will, because somebody will box you in.
I know this came in as a Casey's in the parking lot.
Look at that. That first one right there where the red car and the truck and stuff like that. Blasphemy. What is this?
So that's what I'll tell you what that is. That's a larger Casey's in a city. And in a city, they do have them like that to where there's not angled parking in the front of the store. But in every one I've been into in a small town, it's all angled parking. These are people that are all doing it wrong. Idiots.
I think... I'm sure that some engineer or somebody a lot smarter than me has figured out how parking lots should go and should flow, but the angled parking is one of the stupidest things in my opinion because I think it causes mass confusion. I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to park at these angled parking things. Whether you go to a Casey's, maybe a Walmart or something, there's always people parked like idiots. And there's a lot of people up here that like the grocery stores have been like, no, we're doing a traditional box style instead of the angles. But man,
It does make it more convenient if there are the lanes, like the stripes and everything, just because it limits any confusion. You just go there. But if you're a local and you've been doing this shit for years and you parallel park at a Casey's, there's a special place in hell for you if you're lined up with the sidewalk. Go to hell.
And what annoys me even worse is like when I pull in, I'm a back into a parking spot guy or a pull through guy. Just because I think in my youth I've had so many crappy cars that always needed to be jumped, so I know I had to make sure that if my car needed a jump start, it was easy to get to. But the people that try to do the back ends in certain places, not the pull throughs or whatever, and then they take up like 2 parking spots or maybe 2 or 3, that is one of the most goddamn annoying things. Way more annoying than the people that leave the shopping carts in the middle of a parking lot.
That is, whenever I sit in a grocery store and I people watch, if I'm like getting ready to like finalize my list and double check everything, and I see somebody bypass the cart buggy and just leave their cart intentionally in the parking lot. I'm like, I forget what that test was called or whatever, but people are assholes. Put it back. What the f is wrong with you? I don't know.
I've seen
That shit
people
hurts
that,
me.
obviously on social media, so I don't know if it's real or not, probably not, but where people would leave them in parking lots and then they would zip tie the cart to their vehicle. And I'm like, that is beautiful. You're probably going to get a bunch of trouble, especially if you cause some damage. But I just, I don't know,
Well,
and especially up here, and then and when you guys are, when you start getting the snow, it gets even worse because people don't really want to push the cart through that sludgy, nasty parking lot stuff. Which I get it, but I go to a store that doesn't really have carts, or I have a rule I have to carry it in like an Aldi or something like that. I go to Save a Lot, and which you'd be surprised, they just came out with an app. Yuban.
oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh, yeah. Even the wife's shopping today, and I was like, get the app. All you have to do is put in my number, and then we get these dots. And then as you earn more dots, you start getting free pizzas and free this. And I'm like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm excited. Another app on my phone for food. Look at us go.
I know I think I'm up to like 13 pages with all these stupid apps that I have now. Uh, damn it. I had something and I completely forgot what it was. What we were just talking about?
We were talking about apps, parking lots, people not putting
Oh,
carts away.
parking lots. Have you guys ever watched Cart Narcs?
No.
Oh my God. There's this guy. I think this is even pre-COVID. Um, he goes to like random grocery stores and will put on like a security vest and has like one of those wands like you have at an airport that like flashes. And if he catches somebody who doesn't put away their card or whatever, he'll go wee 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 wee, and he has this magnets. And I forget what the magnets even say, but it's like shaming these guys for like not putting away their cards, and it pisses these people off. And they chase him all the way around. He goes, "Come on, lazy bones, just put away your cart." And they're like, "No, no." There's always a reason, so he just keeps throwing these like magnets on their cards. It is the funniest cart narcs. Look it up. I think now he has like
They
shit.
have
He's probably
583,000 subscribers on YouTube and
yeah.
405 videos.
He's recruited several other people now to where I think they have them in like different cities. I forget where it originated from, but I mean, yeah, lazy backs, lazy bones. I forget like what he calls them. But like these people get so pissed because he calls them out on it.
I'm a fat a-hole. 3.3 million 4 years ago. Well, 4 years ago, that 2020, right around that peak pandemic, people were going crazy.
It was insane.
I like this. Texas is messy.
See, there's this little wand or whatever, but he's
Right
always like,
there.
wee, wee, wee. Yeah.
That's in Florida, Miami Gardens. Yeah, he seems to cover the maps. Huh.
So I gotta ask you, Matt. I think we all can experience this, but Matt probably more than others. When it snows and you can't see the parking spots on the ground, and you go to a grocery store and everybody's trying to park right, but it's all up.
Pure chaos. Pure
Mhm.
chaos. And it's funny because it's like, in even sometimes in places that I've worked before where I'm at now, like people all of a sudden can't remember how to park or have a common courtesy of like, you've been parking in this parking lot for how long? And just because you can't see the lines, all of a sudden you can't park? I mean, it should be common sense. If somebody has to be the first person in the parking lot, and if they are all right, then you just give it a little bit of space. You park next to that. And then park next to that. Because the one where I used to work, it wasn't a very big parking lot, and there was able to be 3 rows. And if you messed up one of those, and there's just enough parking spot for people, some people mess it up. There's no parking. But up here, kind of, there is just people that all they do for a living is mow lawns and then plow snow. So if they're able to, and usually it's just one, maybe two, maybe three people that are running these companies. So they get a commercial job, or you know what I mean, doing these big parking lots. They're usually out way before the first person's there, so you can see the lines. Like, they do a really good job because that's their livelihood. And if they do a shitty job, you get the next guy, who's somehow making a living only plowing driveways and parking lots. I don't get that one. Somebody
Well,
has to do it, not me.
yeah, no, I got a lot of friends who do that, and that's good money.
It
It's
is.
good. It's great money. And uh, my favorite was always getting to work whenever the parking lot was completely covered, and then people are like guessing, like you were saying, like where the lines are and everything. And then whenever it starts to melt during the workday, you would see how awful it is because the lines would start to show, and you're like, Jesus Christ! Like this is like you said, people have been parking here for years, and they act like, whoa, nope, have no. They never know like the distance of like, especially when we go to ball games and you're parking out in fields and stuff. They don't know the distance of like how how far away they need to be, and we'll walk. I'll be like a mile away walking through. I'm like, see, could have squeezed there if that guy wasn't such a dick. Just like I will criticize every damn car on my way to the field, and I'll remember their license plates too. I'm like, So once we get out of there, I'm like, look, there's that son of a bitch who couldn't park. Road rage is just rough, man. I'm guilty of it.
I get parking lot rage too. Like that's one thing. I'll take an extra 30 seconds out of my day if I go to back in and it's not quite right. I'll pull forward and then I'll back it right in so it's nice and pretty. It looks good. Like I don't know what it is. Like you said, it's got to be some of the tism or whatever I have undiagnosed that I've had, undiagnosed since I was a kid. But there's something about it. I have to pull in a lot, especially with lines. Like I got to be good.
And I like to back in. I always have. And now with these cameras and everything, they make it so convenient to do so. And now I'm spoiled. My truck has the 360 camera, so now I don't have to get out and like check again. I just hit that button right before I put it in, or before I turn it off, and it shows how I am in the parking spot. And I'm like, oh snaps! So just hit that button whenever I'm done. I'm like, all right, cool. Bada bing, bada boom.
This is the first vehicle I've had that actually has the camera. In my old brain, I don't use it. The only time I use it is when I'm hooking up something with the trailer hitch. I'll look at it then, especially if I'm by myself. That's handy as hell. I'm still a mirror guy. I don't know what it is.
I use all three. I'm like using like the camera. I still turn around. I'll check the camera. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need that validation apparently from all three. But yeah, no, it's especially like you said with the trailers and everything else. And now they have like the trailer assist to back up as well. There's fancy shit going on. The only thing I hate is how, like, I have the one where if you stop at a stoplight, it'll turn off and then kick back on again. And you have to turn that off each time. You can't just set it to be off. Every time you get into the vehicle, you have to manually turn that shit off. I can't stand sitting in a drive-through and having my vehicle turned on and off, on and up. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I hear those. That's not for me. Mine's still a 2017. Starting to rust out real nice. I'm getting that right. Then that little hickish, poor looking truck, and that's okay. We're gonna ride it till she dies because she's paid for.
See, mine's 2019. I'm just 2 years right behind you, and the end is near for you with these goddamn. I end up driving my boss's truck last week, and his is, I think 1 year. I think so. His is 2018. And I get into it and I hit the brake and I'm looking for the push to start button just because that's what I've had for the last 4 years. And I'm like, how do you start this son of a bitch? And then I see the keyhole and I'm like, oh. And I'm holding his key and I flick the little button and the little switchblade key comes out and I'm like, aha. I'm like, it's vintage. There we go. I'm like, I remember how to use one of these things.
That's me. Still have to.
Yeah.
The wife, though, she's got the push button one, and it drives me nuts. She hates it. But there was a question asked to me. This has nothing to do with cars or anything, but this was asked to me, and apparently this is some kind of experiment or some kind of debate or something that they're asking in schools, or maybe it's a viral thing. I don't know, but somebody says, if you're to eat mac and cheese, do you eat it with a spoon or a fork? And apparently, however you answer it is supposed to mean a deeper meaning. And then we got into this huge thing, and then because these guys that I was hanging out is some teachers, so they asked their students, and some of the responses were. So I got to ask.
Go ahead, Brandon. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So, fork or not? Or you're saying a fork or a spoon for
fork or spoon to eat mac and cheese?
You would think because I'm a fat man, I just scoop it in as fast as you can with a spoon. But no, I like to stab my mac and cheese, and you can scoop with a fork. I mean, mac and cheese is pretty nice.
So I don't eat mac and cheese because the texture thing, I can't stand it. But if I did, I would use a fork just for like getting the last one instead of it just sliding off the spoon nonstop. Being able to poke it is the way that I would go with it.
Yeah, and I also use a fork. And then, so according to the kitchen, without the E at the end, because apparently, why would you want to be able to add an E? Maybe there's a debate. Maybe some spell with an I, an A, an E, and N. Roof or rough. But 71% of adults say they prefer to use a fork. And 28% prefer a spoon. So if you're adding that up, kitchen without the E or the I or the N or the A, there's 1% that apparently, I don't know what they use. Maybe they're sporkers.
Drink it right from the bowl.
A great tool. Spork is a great tool.
That's the oldest uses a spork. Like just has a thing. Won't use a fork for some things, a spoon. So she was like, I would use a spork for every meal. I'm like, I'll prove it. So I bought her a pack of sporks, and that's what she'll use.
Do you guys remember when Taco Bell used to have white utensils instead of black?
Mm-hmm.
I think I used the very last white spork that Taco Bell ever had, because I went in there 2 days in a row. One day it was white, and the next day it was black. And I know that kind of sounds bad the way I just said it.
No,
but it was in the early 2000s, I think, where they switched over to their like Newfield Taco Bell, and Yo Kiddo left the building.
So when the word spork was used, did you automatically think Taco Bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
So did I. That is wild. So, and KFC usually.
Yes, Taco Bell. I was going to say KFC is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You ever try to eat a biscuit with a spork, dude? Stabbing at it, and it just doesn't work.
I just put mashed potatoes and gravy in between my biscuit and just eat it because I'm gonna lose a foot.
Well, you got two of them, so it's okay.
Yeah, you know what? And all these other ones nowadays with these Paralympics and stuff like that, I feel like I could win a couple of these things. But a fake foot.
I don't know. I mean, you're in a walking boot usually. What, a third of the year? So I mean, you're on your way there.
I'm on my way.
Do you guys know that Dr. Samuel W. Francis of Rhode Island actually invented the spork in 1874?
No,
Right after Civil War, like the Civil War, that's what he's just like. I'm so glad everybody's together. Let's create this utensil called a spork. Because he's like, man, when we were on the front lines eating these beans was ridiculous. We need a better utensil.
No, they were arguing. What are you going to eat the mac and cheese with, the fork or the spoon? I guess these were some early designs of the spork. I like this one. You can just put it on your book bag. You can put it on your keychain. You can have a spork anywhere you want.
It's a cock ring.
Yep. I mean, get that from under.
So that brings me to another thing here. So I guess we'll stay in the silverware part, but do you guys prefer, like, if you're eating a bowl of cereal and you're going through your silverware, I can't say that right now, roads,
Road.
and you're going through the drawer or whatever, does it matter if it's a smaller spoon or a bigger spoon? Like, because I'll hand out spoons at the dinner table.
What are we eating?
Let's just say a bowl of cereal.
Bowl of cereal. I don't want like a large ladle spoon, but I want a big spoon. If I'm eating ice cream, I probably want a smaller spoon. I want to savor it. I want it to be a little, I don't want to overwhelm myself.
See, I was sick of having these things at the house because we have the same thing where, the wife will want this, the kids want this, and whatever. So we actually, when we had the bin store open and they had all these different silverwares and stuff, we found some really nice shit. So now my utensils are all gold. I'm like, this is what I got a pack of just gold, not like, I'm a baller, I'm a king royalty one, but the color gold. And then we have certain silver ones with certain patterns, certain black ones. So it's just kind of turned into that's theirs, sport girl, and then me. But yeah, it was the same battle. Brilliant. I don't want this spoon. This one's too big, or I don't like. It's like it's a spoon.
Have you ever been?
She always wanted a smaller one, and I'm like, what is it? So I looked it up, and it is an autistic trait to want the smaller utensils. So even the same thing with the forks. She always would prefer the smaller forks and everything. She also prefers the smaller wieners.
Hey. I guess Brandon only has autism when he eats ice cream.
Because it prevents brain freeze.
My wife said to me 2 weeks ago. She goes, "Are you autistic?" And it hurt me because she wasn't jokingly asking me.
It's like it came from a place of love, and it's like, bitch.
Not to go back to the sporks, but real quick, because I was Googling some stuff and I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it was a thing. KFC in 2022 introduced finger sporks.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know if this was a real thing, but apparently KFC.
How are you gonna eat like this? Or are you gonna eat it like this? How the fuck does this work, dude?
I don't see that.
Or maybe it goes instead of going on your finger like this or upside down, maybe it's sideways. So if the spork is like this way, and you're sitting it on here, then you can scoop like this and then eat like this. You know what I mean? I guess.
Oh, look how the mom and dad are doing it, not the kid. The kid is the one that kind of popped out first. But see how the dad's kind of got it there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep, and then the mom's got the thumb on it too. I think the daughter's the only one that's eating it like an idiot.
Yeah, she's definitely adopted.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked for a spoon at home, and they bring you one of those serrated edges, those fucking grapefruit spoons? You just want to throw it across the room. Just shit out of here. It's gonna ruin my meal.
And then they say, "Are you autistic?"
I do get asked that a lot throughout the week, and I'm like, "Damn, should I go to the doctor?" Now, say if you guys are making a sandwich, peanut butter, bologna, it doesn't matter, turkey, you're making a sandwich at home. You're getting ready to cut that sandwich. How are you cutting that sandwich?
Diagonal.
I don't cut my sandwiches. I just eat it like a.
I'm an adult. I don't cut sandwiches.
But if I do, I'm cutting it diagonally. It's in triangles like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh,
right. You've watched too much wrestling. Suck it.
Dude, we're at that age where I used to have. There were in my junior high, 1998, 1999. This was the height of the Attitude Era of WWE. There were at least 3 out of every 10 kids had a fucking Undertaker shirt or a Rock shirt or a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. I mean, they had wrestling shirts on. NWO, whatever it was. So, man, I don't know about you guys. When you guys graduated, I graduated in 04, but, right around that middle school period was when the height of wrestling was around. And kids were just they were the metalheads that were, watching fucking wrestling. You know?
Man, we had people that were going through the hallways giving you a stunner. If you weren't, there was a guy after, it was this thing, because for whatever reason, after lunch, you kind of had to go out the same way. It was pretty much the whole entire, you went down this one hallway. He'd be the first one out, and he would just pick somebody random, it seemed like every time. And he'd pop out from a hallway or a locker. I don't know where the hell he'd come from, and he'd just, boom, he'd hit you with it. And that was before, you could have a cell, we didn't have cell phones or whatever, or he would have probably had the
fucking just iconic. And living in Las Vegas, the gentleman that was during that time that was from Las Vegas was Val Venus. I don't know if you guys remember that guy. Mm-hmm. So his intros. So every time I'd always walk into a room and there was ladies, "Hello, ladies."
Oh yeah.
And all you see is just his thrusting nonstop.
He was Canadian.
He was Canadian?
Val Venus. Yeah, he was a Canadian professional wrestler.
Maybe his persona was from Vegas.
Do you know what his real name was? Let's see if we can guess. He was born in Oakville, Canada. Guess what his real name is? This is a fun game.
Is a lie. Eric.
Close. Sean.
That was close.
But if you put Eric and Sean together, it sounds like erection. I'll never forget. It always used to be a thing where we had a new science teacher, right? And we're probably 9th, 10th grade. I think this guy comes in, and he was trying to be cool. It's Mr. Burke. And we're like, "What's your real name, Mr. Burke?" He's like, "It's Eric." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then one of them's like, "Imagine if your middle name was Sean." And he's like, "Why?" We're like, "Eric Sean, get it?" He's like, no. And we were like, slow it down. He's like, oh, shit. We're like, what? He goes, that's my middle name. I don't know if obviously if it was or you know what I mean. He was trying to be cool or whatever, but we're like, huh, just one of those things. He was probably like, oh, I'm changing my goddamn name.
I wish I knew somebody that actually had that name. That's really clever. No, did you guys have a favorite like move, like a wrestling move, whenever you were growing up?
Stunner.
Oh, it was the stunner, bro. It was the stunner, and then like 2001, it was the people's elbow and the rock bottom. I mean, those were the ones. I mean, choke slam, power bomb, tombstone, but the stunner was number one always.
Mm-hmm.
No Rikishi.
Dude, I used to go into my fucking Rikishi. I used to go into my backyard. My neighbors used to think I was the fucking like weirdest fucking kid. I would go back there with 2 Sprites, bro, and I would just go like fucking stun. I just go back inside covered in sticky, gross Sprite. Have to take my clothes off and wash them. Go jump in the shower.
Stung again by some bees.
There's fucking losers out here again thinking he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Fucking weirdo.
But I mean, of all of the moves, the stunner's a pretty easy one for just about anybody to do. I mean, you kick a guy and then you get him to go down and you just fall down. You know what I mean? That's pretty easy. You're doing like the power bomb and, you know, all these other ones. Like, you're just not going to be able to do that to your buddy walking down the hall or, you know, somebody maybe random in a grocery store. Does anybody do wrestling moves in random places to random people in a grocery store? Because I would subscribe to that channel. Imagine just somebody just sitting there, and then all of a sudden you're, and they just start stunning people.
People smacking 2 milk cartons together.
And not even, you know what I mean? They don't even have to dress like it, because then you'd see it coming, you know, if you got a guy in some jean shorts and a black shirt and a couple of knee braces and shit, you know?
And doing the stunner was always fun, but it was just something about that people's elbow was just so, like, theatrically, like, just amazing. Like, with your friends, you go over there, they're laying down because they're knocked out. You're kicking their arms in. You're doing the fake, going against the ropes and everything, and just looking around. Bam! Just, oh. I was a little bit younger than you guys, so I was in elementary school when that stuff was really, really starting to get popular. I was like 4th, 5th grade. So we had the action figures with like the little toy ring and everything.
Oh, yep.
Tables that would break apart. You could grab the chairs. Like Nintendo 64, WCW Nitro. You used to be able to go into the stands. You could be Sting, grab a baseball bat. And you're like, oh, shit. Goldberg's grabbing ladders from like the crowd and everything. Oh, man. Wrestling was so fun back in the day.
This could be fun. I went to the ringsidereport.net. It's a little bit of an older site, not real done, so maybe you guys could check it out. But either way, they ranked the top 35 most famous wrestling moves. Let's see if we can guess the top 10.
Wrestling moves?
And I haven't gone through them yet, but I'm going to go from their number 1 to their number 10, and we'll see if we can guess them.
Choke slam?
The choke slam has to be on there. Choke slam is on there. Number, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6.
What about the power bomb?
The power bomb. 1, 2. It's got to be on here, right?
Are these finishing moves or just regular any moves?
I think they're finishing moves.
Okay. Oh.
Powerbomb was somebody's, I can't remember who, but pretty sure that was somebody.
I don't see the power bomb on there, but it has to be, right? Power bomb. No, it's not on there.
All right, what about oh god.
Actually, this just says the top 35 most famous wrestling moves of all time. Okay. So it doesn't say finishing.
Okay. Suplex.
That's not coming up in the search.
So what do you got for the top for you?
I mean, so obviously the one that we've been talking about, the stunner, number 1. That's definitely
Tombstone?
The tombstone. Yep. So the Undertaker's tombstone pile driver and choke slam they put together as one.
Oh,
for some reason. So that's number 6. 7, 8, 9. I'll give you 10. Is the John Cena's attitude adjustment?
Oh, okay. So what about Randy Orton's? Oh, goddamn! What the fuck's it called?
The RKO.
Yes, RKO.
That's number 9.
Okay. Is Goldberg on there? The spear?
Number 8. You look at you. You're going 10-9-8. Goldberg, spear, and jackhammer. Number 8.
Okay. And then
If you get number 7, I'm going to be freaked out.
Brock Lesnar, the F5.
Okay, we're back in the same. Rey Mysterio's 619.
That's a good one, too.
That's number 7. Then
Off the
obviously
ropes.
the Undertaker one is there for number 6. Then you have Triple H's pedigree. That was a good one.
I almost said that one, too.
Yep, that's one that I think you could do pretty easy to a buddy as well.
Oh, yeah. Just lifting the arms up.
Mm-hmm. You guys did already talk about this one as number 1, 2, 3 was the Rock's People's Elbow and Rock Bottom. That was number 3. So we're missing number 2 and number 4.
Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Wasn't? Nope. These are some a little bit older wrestlers.
What's that movie did on his kid?
The Crippler Crossface. That's what.
Not like super old, but like our time old because we're a little bit old. But right before kind of the Stone Cold.
Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music.
Number 2, Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music.
Oh, I remember Ric Flair, whenever he did it to him.
Woo!
That was an iconic moment.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, he's always like, I'm sorry. And Ric Flair's like, come on, just do it to me. And he's just like, bam.
What about the mandible claw?
Not in the top 10. Not in the top 10.
Mr. Sacco.
Yep, not in the top 10.
So did you get both of Rock's, Rock Bottom, and People's Elbow?
Yep, they put those together. This is the one right after that. Think around Shawn Michael. They're fairly...
Bret Hart?
Bret Hart. His sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, fuck.
Which was a leg lock submission move that was invented by a Japanese legend, Riki Chosu. Pretty sure I said that wrong, but yeah.
Stolen by some Canadian asshole.
But yeah, that was the top one. Then after that, you had Breathtaking Tope Suicida, Swanton Bomb, the Shooting Star Press, the Frog Splash, the Ankle Lock, the Figure 4, the Crippler Crossface.
No, the Frog Splash, was that Rob Van Dam?
The Frog Splash was popularized by the late Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, okay.
But apparently, yes, then it says many wrestlers such as Rob Van Dam have used the move, who added his unique twist, calling it the 5-star Frog Splash.
Okay. Okay.
And apparently it remains a fan favorite move, showcasing the wrestler's agility and willingness to take risks in the ring. This goddamn... Dude, you guys seeing this fly crawl over my face? It is driving me nuts. I'm thinking about eating it.
I saw it once on your nose, and I didn't know if it was on my screen or actually on your nose. And then it flew away, and I go, I think that was on his screen. And then I just saw it in your stash, too.
Yeah, it's... I'm trying to be, like, smooth, and then one of these times I'm going to just, like...
I know you said stash, but it's totally... For my 14-year-old brain heard snatch.
I did say snatch.
Speaking of which, there is a certain video I can't really name online where two people were enjoying themselves and a fly landed, and one of the people who was enjoying themselves, who was inserting something into the other person that was enjoying themselves, the fly went along with that member inside the other person, and it was weird. And then it never came back.
She gone. It's okay. Last week when we were doing our show, when I was editing, I saw a fly landed in my coffee, and I drank it, and I wasn't really sure what it was. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, like if you eat something maybe a little bit before, and sometimes you know what I mean? You don't go right and floss or brush your teeth. Sometimes you get a little food in your teeth or whatever, so you get a drink, and every once in a while you're like, that's a weird thing of food, and you just swallow it. And then I was like, I didn't eat anything before we recorded. And then it was definitely a fly. Yep.
It's protein.
Yeah, whatever. It was just on some shit in there, and we've all eaten worse, I would imagine. But
for sure.
It's nasty shit. Stupid flies. But where we are, because the weather turned hot again, it's like we're getting our summer finally, and it's been like in the 80s. Went from like 40s at night and stuff like that. Now we're back in the 80s, so the weather's flipping, so the flies are all like, oh shit, we're back. We're back.
See, we just, and maybe Brandon, our weather's usually pretty close. we just previously experienced a little bit of heat again, and then now we're rolling back into it getting colder. So the next week, I think tomorrow is high, or I guess while we're recording. So this Monday coming up, 65 is the high, and I'm like, talk dirty to me. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. Speaking of being excited, I don't know if you've heard this, but I feel like you will be excited about this because I know we talked Casey's. You're a big fan of Casey's, but you are a big fan of Domino's. All right.
Love Domino's.
And apparently they're adding a new non-pizza dish to its menu. And it's perfect for cheese lovers. And it's a joke. You're not going to like this. But I think they're in this article from foodandwine.com starts it off with 92 was a big year. League of Their Own, Aladdin, A Few Good Men were all in the movie theaters. Cardi B, Charlie XCX, and the best Jonas Brothers were born. Domino's introduced breadsticks, which were the first non-pizza menu, the item that the chain offered. Fast forward 32 years, which is sad that 92 was 32 years ago.
I know.
Now they serve everything from chicken wings, loaded tots, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, chocolate lava crunch brownies. Later this month, Domino's will be adding another non-pizza menu to the item. Any guesses?
French fries. No, they already had something like that.
Nachos.
Full circle. Spoon or fork, mac and cheese. Two different versions. They're going to offer the Michigan-based chain will offer a 5-cheese mac and cheese, which is a combo of penne pasta, topped with a creamy blend of American cheddar, mozzarella, and Parmesan Asiago cheese, and finished with Alfredo sauce. Then they're also going to have a spicy buffalo 5-cheese mac and cheese, which takes the standard mac and cheese and adds a generous topping of fiery buffalo sauce. And you can add sliced jalapenos or bacon for 99 cents.
Bring back the bread bowls.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you guys have children, right?
Yes, sir.
Allegedly.
You guys ever went out to a restaurant with your kids, and it doesn't have to be the nicest restaurant, but you went to, say, Red Lobster. I've been to a Red Lobster, and
Rest
on
in
the
peace.
kids menu there's mac and cheese, and kids love mac and cheese, so we get the mac and cheese. And they roll out Kraft macaroni and fucking cheese, and it's $5.99. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You charge me $5.99 for not even a whole box, but a serving of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Like, fuck you in the ear hole, and I hope it comes out the other side.
Yeah, we have a thing where it's you're gonna order something that you don't normally order, especially whether it's off the kids menu or something that we can't make at home. Like I'm not going to bring you to I've never brought the kids to a nice restaurant. I don't think I've even brought my wife to what would be considered a nice restaurant to most, but nice to us is something different. But either way, like you're not gonna get chicken tenders. You're not going to get a grilled cheese. You're not going to, you know what I mean? Like there's places around here that'll offer like a little steak, you know what I mean? Some applesauce, potatoes, corn, like something like that. You're not, like I said, for me, I'm like, you're not getting this because I'm going to get pissed when they roll out a scoop of 99 cent, not even Kraft, the store brand friggin' mac and cheese. No.
Or their little club sandwich that's like $13.99, and you're like, is that Carl Budding 50-cent lunch meat right now? Not going to complain. I'm a slut for some Carl Budding lunch meat, but I'm not going to pay this. What the fuck?
Yeah, not for me. Yeah, that is infuriating. But, I don't know. I think we call it before we either have any accidents or whatever, and potentially some of us didn't take a pregame poop, and sometimes coffee hits you.
Mine has now moved back up inside of me. So I have got, so instead of you guys all trust your body, and when it gives you the 2-minute warning, you're like, oh God. But I had a last second Hail Mary. Yeah. And so we've now extended to overtime, and I've got a few more minutes. So.
Okay. For anybody that doesn't know, there was allegedly a message that made me giggle in the middle of the show. You can go back and watch it. It said, boys, I'm holding in a turtle head. It's peeking out like a vice on my belly. And I had a pretty good little giggle. And then I put in there, I said, well, go poop. And then I sent a link to an autism online test.
And I
so you can allegedly take it and be like, nope, don't have it, wife. Or
I'm afraid to take it because it's going to be 100% conclusive.
Well, it's funny for me because they must listen to our conversations. Weird. This was on psychcentral.com, and there's an ad right in the middle, and it says, to put it bluntly, don't drive high. The big marijuana leaf. And I'm curious what your guys' ad, if you were to open up the link, was. Because it goes from that to major in watching NFL football. Students can sign up for the NFL Sunday Ticket for just $199.
Mine's going to be like one of those aggressive porn commercials. It's like, quit beating your dick now. Find local singles here in your area. There's never anyone.
It's all about being high and getting home and auto insurance and football. Interesting.
Seems pretty accurate.
But either way, we'll be on our way. And of course, we record on Sundays. Not that any of you care, but it's my favorite day. I get to talk to the boys. I get to watch some football. I get to yell at a TV. And I get to eat a whole bunch of snacks and have some leftovers for the week that I got to just turn at the kids and be like, stay out of my fridge, you punks. Either way, Yuban, Brandon, appreciate you. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the poops. And we'll see you guys next week. That's all I got. You guys got anything else?
I scored 29 out of 40 on my autism test. Is that good?
Is that good or bad?
Based on your responses, you may benefit from seeing a mental health professional.
I'm going to take mine now, damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to take mine, and I'll report back next week what it is. And Brandon, start using a fork with your mac and cheese.
Might want to start wearing a helmet every time you go out, too.
On that note, we'll see you next week. Stay out of my fridge, you little fuckers. Bye-bye.
Buckle up tight, it's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets hide. Mysteries of leftovers, the wonders inside. From moldy sandwiches to ancient yogurt jars.